What are your thoughts
So,
on this?
the SOE is infringing on your constitutional rights. The amount of people I've seen saying this in comment sections or different posts in WhatsApp groups. And my question is this: are you a criminal? How is the SOE in, messing with your constitutional rights? How? How? Make it make sense. How are we doing it? If you are a criminal, this only affects you. And still, to a certain capacity, it don't affect criminals because what? The criminals and them still going and come out and try to do what they're supposed to do. The reality of it is this. Under PNM and under UNC, no SOE has ever borrowed my constitutional rights. I've always been able to go where I want, come back when I want. It never had a curfew because they never implement one. And people are accustomed moving freely. The only time you have to be worried about a SOE is if you know you are nonsense. Now, a lot of people saying, but bro, this is going to work. How it's not going to work? So the other day, a couple of guys was detained. And we had the whole thing with the lockdown Aruka and the detention place and whatever the case may be. And they had to let these men out after a period of time. Now, guess what? The reality of it is this. The men who call in the shots, nobody not touching them. Because you see, it really have something to tie them to shit that happening out in the public domain. Other than the anti-gang legislation that could be put into effect based on the SOE. But the reality of it is this. This is a Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for everybody syndrome. If you know that you have men under you that are stressing people, right? Because let me be honest, the boss not coming out and do the work, He are meant to go do that. Now, if men coming out and doing the work and they're stressing the place and having average citizens feeling unsafe, the government can't get to the boss because why? The boss, as far as he's concerned, he have things to protect him. You understand? So, how else do you go after the boss? Anti-gang legislation, SOE. So this is what we go do. And she said it. She said, if you all don't behave when you all come back out, I will arrest you again. And I don't know if they decided, let me call she bluff and see what she go do. But I said it before and I'll say it again. This old lady is not playing. She's not playing. And you see, we could talk about gangs all we like, but the biggest gang in any nation will forever be the government. Whether you want to believe it or not, the government will always be the biggest gang. And nobody will ever like when the government decides to flex their weight, because the government are real weight to flex, Them are real weight to throw around. They just don't do it. So if we are to be fair in what is going on, who you think is going to get squeezed? The men who running out and doing the nonsense? She know chances are she not going to catch them. And SOE, they mightn't come out with their guns and everything. But guess what? You see, the boss, he wants to be able to stay in the community. He enjoys sleeping in the bed in the night, He don't want to be in a cell. But if the men underneath he doing nonsense, or he's sending them to do nonsense, and they can't catch the men, then we will squeeze you by proxy. And that is what they're doing. They're squeezing him by proxy, because guess what? He don't want to go inside. He don't want to go from he ham, lam, and jam where any goal lineman on the block now. He's already a prisoner of the community because he can't really go nowhere. Because people will be looking for him. But at the same time, he enjoys the benefits of being in his community and being able to move around and do whatever you want. Get your little box a real deal at the end of the day and stuff like that. But when that gets taken away because of the power of a SOE, and he inside, the boys and them still outside could do stupidness, But here what? The law is drafted in such a way that here what? We can't get all here. We go grab all your boss. You think the boss want to be going inside a day every couple months? You really think so? You really think that if she decides to run a SOE for 6 months per year, you think he want to be inside saying no for 6 months? Make it make sense. Think. It's not a perfect plan, but it's a plan. And it's a tool. Now, again, I know my soldier partners and them guys talking to my brethren till he was a soldier, he coasted. But we had a healthy discussion. And you know what I think Trinidad and Tobago needs? And it's not like sort. And I don't know if Gary Griffith might agree with me for this, right? But what Trinidad and Tobago need, we need something like a National Guard. A National Guard. Because you see now, if the regiment takes up arm, right? The Geneva Convention basically sees that as a failed state. Once your soldiers have to intervene to come out with martial law and stuff, then your nation is a failed state. So to avoid that, that is why the regiment works in tandem with the police, right? So that it comes across that way. What we need is an apparatus. Now, SORT, don't get me wrong, SORT was something like that, but SORT was still, like my brethren say, investigations. We don't need that. What we need is a kick down door, run up in your house squad that has to do, their job is strictly to deal with this kind of situation. What we need is a separate entity like a National Guard. We went shit hits in the last score. You don't have to call you call a state of emergency, them is the men coming for you. There's no police, there's no army, National Guard. That's their work. Go and get them. Go and deal with them. However, and listen, here's the powers of the nice powers of a National Guard. They could call a state of emergency in their own format, which basically means they could roll up on your block and lock down your neighborhood. And you can't say nothing about it. Everybody was complaining about the Zozo. You really think she can use the SOE like a Zozo? She could. And all they were saying was, oh, if you get the Zozo, police go abuse the authority. You really think police need a Zozo bill to abuse the authority? Police, the estate of Trinidad and Tobago is the TTPS zone. If the commissioner gets up in the morning and decide, listen, we're going to surround this neighborhood here, lock it down, and for 48 hours, we staying inside of it, we going through all them buildings, all them houses, there's nothing all they can do about it. Nothing. That is the power they have. They don't execute it the way, they don't be blatantly bold-faced like that. But they could. They don't need a special Zozo bill to make your life hard. They could do that on their own. So again, the Zozo bill would have just been one thing wrapped up in a bunch of community programs and other things to kind of fix the social issues and things in the community and root out the bad eggs. We didn't get that. So here what? SOE is the next best thing. And I know vex with she. What PNM will say, oh, she called 1,000,001 state of emergency. She can't control the country. We don't care. We don't care. And like I said, this only affects people who doing things wrong. Are you doing something wrong out there? That they need to pull you over and check your car? Check if you have gone search your house? Are you a criminal? If you're not a criminal, then you are nothing to worry about. Go out, line, spend time with your family. Enjoy yourself. Life goes on. But for the men who doing crime, because all they had to be honest, all you see all the murders that went down in the last couple of days, all you see how ridiculous it was. All they just do what she do nothing. And then all they will say, oh, the police can be everywhere. Police can be everywhere. Even in our SOE, they can't be everywhere. But guess what? They could go and pick up who they know having men all over the place doing shit and lock them up. And they don't want to be locked up. So, pick a struggle. Make a better version of yourself every day. People are gone.